Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another video. I've got a lot of crap that I screenshotted. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another video. I got a lot of stuff that I screenshotted last night. I'm just going to try and roll through it. And we're going to start with this story. Twitter targeted woman for layoffs under Elon Musk. That's what a recent lawsuit says. So apparently we know Elon comes into Twitter, he fires a bunch of people that didn't want to come into the office, and now some of these women are suing him. You can see the actual numbers on this. It laid off 57% of their female workers compared to 47% for men. So that does not seem like a stark difference. Certainly not grounds for a lawsuit, but you keep reading, and it says the gender disparity was more stark for engineering roles, where 63% of women lost their jobs compared to 48% of men. That is according to a lawsuit. And so women are suing Elon Musk. And I kind of want to talk about what I think is happening, why the discrepancy was more stark in terms of the engineering role. And I want to be nice and not try and offend anyone, but I will say, to me, guys, Elon Musk, he wants to take over Twitter. He wants free speech. We get it. But he's also a multi-billionaire. He wants to make money off of the platform. And I don't think it's a gender thing. I don't think he goes to these women and say, we got to get rid of these people. I think it comes down to work productivity, and basically anyone that wasn't up to standard is going to get fired. And unfortunately, it fell a little bit more on the female side. I think Twitter and the way they kind of transitioned going super woke, the numbers, the employee numbers look a lot better when it says you have 50% of your engineers are women. Now, is that ideal for getting the most out of your employees? Not saying women can't do a good job. I'm sure they can. But is that an ideal thing where we're looking at this and we're going to hire the person that's going to do the best job and make me the most money? I don't think that's how they approached it. Elon Musk approaching it a little bit differently. And that is why I think so. I just think it's a situation where they're not as productive. They're going to get fired. It happened to some of the men too, but a little bit more with the women, especially with engineering. That's just my take on the whole thing. Obviously, this is going to get completely thrown out because even like 63% versus 48%, that's not a big enough, difference to create some sort of lawsuit. It would have to be like, okay, 80% of women in engineering get fired, only 10% of men. There's clear bias. 63% to 48% is not even close to big enough. I'm guessing this was just done for media attention. And then we've got this situation. It just keeps getting worse for Biden. And then we've got this situation. It just keeps getting worse for Biden. The Biden administration appears to be lying about the Brittany Griner trade. They had the option between the two and chose Brittany Griner over a former U.S. Marine. And you can actually see a story that was edited. Apparently, you can see the key paragraph in question from NBC Stories, first read before being stealth edited. So this story came out immediately after the Brittany Griner news that she had been released, and this is what it was first released as. You can see all the way at the bottom, it says the Kremlin gave the White House the choice, either of them or none. So it was an either situation. It wasn't just Brittany Griner, it was either of them, and then they edit the article and they completely change it. You can see. And you can actually see Paul Whelan's lawyer come out and say, listen, it was a choice and they chose Brittany Griner because of the optics, the wokeness, the minority, all of the sexual orientation, all of that plays into it. So they chose her. And of course, this is what's going to get the headlines on ESPN as a major Biden victory, but it really just blew up in their face because everyone with half a brain realizes this is actually a horrible precedent to set giving a, allowing an individual that supplied weapons which killed Americans to be free is a terrible, terrible thing. And I think most people see that now. They were trying to swing it and say, oh, you should just be happy that an American is home. We certainly are happy about that. The problem is there's been people, and specifically people that are serving or were serving the United States, that have been over there significantly longer than Brittany Griner. And the other main issue is the exchange. I mean, I said it was one of the worst trades I've ever seen in my life. Again, you're giving up somebody who it comes down to the precedent. The other thing that they were trying to argue was, oh, he's only got X number of years left anyways. No, he had 7 years remaining. And if you're an American and you see somebody get tried for basically terrorism and giving weapons to people to kill Americans, you should want them to spend every last second in an American prison. And we're just not seeing it. We're seeing it, oh, we'll exchange him. He only had 7 years left. That's a long time. And you should serve it. You get tried and you're guilty for something like that. We would want you to serve every last minute of that sentence. So they're just trying to cope with it, and it is real sad. This is why we have to trade athletes for arms dealers. We project zero strength, and the world knows it. I hope this is fake. I hope this is some photo, and it does look like it's photoshopped. Now, people in the comments were saying it was real. I don't know. But we're at the point in America, we see things like this, and we really have to question, is it real or not? And that's the first issue in and of itself. Don't know there. We've got Chicago Dean bragging about giving underage students sex toys during Pride Month. So this goes back to the whole Florida bill when they made a complete false equivalency and said, oh, DeSantis he doesn't believe in free speech. He doesn't believe in the First Amendment. That brought on the whole false narrative of the book burns, which are totally ridiculous. This is what people like DeSantis are trying to stop. You can see these are apparently, you read the article, 14-year-old kids that are being given sex toys by teachers. And I don't understand how is any of that appropriate? Like, it's like, you take a look at the books they're trying to ban. They are disgusting. They are things you wouldn't want your 14-year-old kid looking at. It is not even close. I don't even know how these books get approved for an elementary, middle school library. I'm not going to get too much into it, but this is the type of stuff. No, giving a teacher giving a 14-year-old kid a dildo. What? And then they say, oh, you're the one that doesn't believe in free speech. No, that's not what that is. You're manipulating the point when, of course, you're the ones that banned it in the first place on the internet and then said Twitter was a private company. And now you want to throw a temper tantrum because you didn't get your way. Elon Musk takes over Twitter and he wants the First Amendment. And now it's a temper tantrum. Now it's lying about numbers saying, look at all the hate speech when it's really down since Elon Musk took over, and they're all throwing an epic hissy fit over this. So that is what's going on there. We also I thought this was funny, on Reddit, looking for trades. That is a basketball card Reddit little subreddit page there, trading Brittany Griner. We'll see if we can find something. We'll see if we can find a murderer to trade for that basketball card there. Yeah, that would be good. Brittany Griner is an American hero and should get the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And of course, we all know where this is headed. We're going to get the big photo op of Joe Biden placing the medal. He'll probably have to stand on something because she is a WNBA player. She's taller. I'm guessing they'll give him a step stool. He'll stand on something. They'll have him all drugged up because this is his big moment where he actually has to walk somewhere and do something. And he'll get up there and he'll give her the Medal of Freedom for her bravery. Of course, after, the whole situation with her bashing the United States, the First Amendment, things like that. And then I just thought this was disgusting, what happened here with Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons is a superstar NFL pass rusher, a second-year player. He comes out and says, listen, Biden is a joke. The fact that this trade went through is ridiculous. And then we're talking about a dude who plays in Dallas, Texas. We're talking about, an individual in a conservative, you would think, state. They're making him apologize for this, and he has to walk back his statements. It's like, no, it's not our fault. We have a president that can't count to 10. He's senile, and his administration makes horrible trades. We know exactly what this was. This was to placate to the woke crowd. We got her home. It's great. But 80% of Americans are absolutely against this, and Micah Parsons spoke out against it, and then someone got to him, and it's like, no, you shouldn't have to walk back your statements. And I totally understand, he's an athlete, he needs sponsorships, things like that. You don't want to come off as polarizing. That's why he denounces Trump. He says, I don't like Trump or Biden. That's fine. That is a perfectly normal viewpoint that really should be embraced now. But it's gotten so bad on the left that even if you say, listen, I hate both of them, they say, no, you're horrible. You need to love Biden. You need to love everything because the other side is so much worse. That is their talking point now. You can't just say, I hate both and I'm an independent. They hate independence now. Because it's not good enough. You're not further enough. That's why the party keeps going further and further and further and further, to the left, and it keeps getting more and more crazy. Not the people in power, I will say that, but you're getting to the point. It's like the liberal party, there's a lag, because Biden obviously is not far left, but a lot of the younger people are, and that's going to be the party in the future. It's not there yet. Biden gets criticized by a lot of the people in the Liberal Party for not being liberal enough. So they're only moving further away, and they'll tell you, listen, look at Europe, look at these other countries. They're all really liberal. Of course, those are the same countries that are begging America to give Ukraine, $90 billion trillion every other day because they can't support that war because they don't have a big enough economy because they don't believe in capitalism. But no, America's the bad one. We have a horrible way of life. We need to live more like Switzerland. They have a great healthcare system, or like Canada, when actually Canadians are coming out against their own universal healthcare, saying it's terrible. And listen, I agree. We need a total revamp of our healthcare system, but there is no easy answer. Most of these people just would say, listen, let's do what Canada does. And then you talk to these Canadian people, they're like, no, it's terrible. I mean, we're not getting any good doctors. There's no incentive for elite medical professionals to be here because they're not going to get paid more. So I just thought that was ridiculous that Micah Parsons, listen, I'm guessing it was just because his agent probably said you don't want to come off as like a Trump supporter, and definitely that is understandable, right? That if you're doing it for endorsement and stuff, but it's just like the world we live in. A dude who plays for the Cowboys comes out and calls an old man who can't count to 10 senile and says it's a dumb trade and we didn't even get back the Marine. And then Biden creates the talking point, the Biden administration creates the talking point that, oh no, they're treating his case differently. And then, of course, we get conflicting reports because now we've got a story that gets edited, and apparently it was one or the other, and they chose Griner mainly to get all the headlines on ESPN and things like that, and to social justice warrior everyone to death. But I don't think that's confirmed. So I don't want to, good Lord. I mean, we don't want to spread anything, but there is that's out there right now that maybe it could have been an either or. We've got the lawyer saying it was an either or. So that is something to look into. But guys, that is just the current situation going on. Overall, talking about that Elon Musk story, you don't want to be mean, but I think it's a situation where Elon Musk is a multi-billionaire. He buys Twitter. It costs $44 billion. He wants to see a return on investment. And you've got to trim some of the fat sometimes. He's just not firing all women. It was 63% to 48%. I think, this is my speculation, it's a situation where there were some of the people that were hired maybe to pump up the numbers overall in the company to show it was like 50-50 engineers. It's looking good. That's the woke numbers you want. And Elon Musk is like, no, I want people that get the job done that are going to make me more money. I'm not going to sit here and shill out $120,000 a year to all these women employees who sit at home for 4 hours and censor people that they don't like on the internet. So I think that it was a situation, something like that. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.